Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 in our chats with Emily as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson contained in the Johnson edition. We turn now to poem 221, It Can't Be Summer. This is another what is it poem, another riddle poem. We've used this line from a letter that Emily wrote to Sue, letter number 586, where she said, quote, "In a life that stopped guessing, you and I should not feel at home," end quote. Now here we're going to be talking about autumn, and we will in fact even reference Keats's To Autumn, or Ode to Autumn, as being a poem that probably stands behind what's going on here. Now, our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at LearnStrong.net, down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily, our playlist. I'm hopeful that you've already worked through our set of introductory comments. I'm hopeful that you've already read through the previous 220 poems. We just finished with 220. Could I then shut the door? Now, this is another poem about seasons, and she loves the word summer. She'll use it in 126 of her poems. Now, this poem and the one to follow has a lot to do with Kate Scott Anthon, who we've already mentioned. Kate Scott Anthon will have visited Sue, her pal, and Austin 4 or 5 times during 1859-61. And she was sent this copy of this poem by Emily, and there were 3 clover heads and some bright autumn leaves included in it. Emily did this, as we've already commented a few times. Now, some have pointed out this kind of strange quality, the last 2 lines of this poem. Let's enjoy the poem. It can't be summer, that got through. It's early yet for spring, there's that long town of white to cross before the blackbirds sing. It can't be dying, it's too rouge, the dead will go in white. So sunset shuts my question down with cuffs of crystalline. Now, notice we're speaking about autumn. In other words, whatever is happening, it can't be summer, and it can't be spring. So it is fall. Now, the readers of Emily's poetry, and obviously I'll challenge you guys to play the same game, have often wondered, what is Emily's favorite season? Is it spring? Is it summer? Is it fall? Autumn? Is it winter? Some have argued that for Emily, depending on her emotive state, it is actually the fall at times. Notice it can't be summer. That got through. Now, what is the that? Well, you know, we're talking about autumn here. This it can't construction only used one time in all her poetry. It's here. It's early yet for spring. Back to poem 5. I have a bird in spring. There's that long town of white. Obviously, she's talking winter here. And we'll come back to white and the idea of the dead shall go in white. Obviously, a reference to Christian theology and especially the book of Revelation, right? There's that long town of white to cross before the blackbirds sing. In other words, we've got to go through this autumn experience, this fall experience before we finally get to spring when the blackbirds will sing again. It can't be dying, it's too rouge. In other words, it's not winter. It's so beautiful, and she'll finish, obviously, with referencing to color again. The dead shall go in white. In other words, winter is the time of dying. This is not winter, not yet, but it's clearly not summer, and it's obviously not spring. So she'll finish with these strange, kind of mysterious last 2 lines. So, sunset shuts my question down, because as the sun goes down, the colors all go away. With cuffs of crystalline. You'll remember crystalline from poem 24. Now, what is going on here? Well, I think her argument is that fall is filled with the same yellows of the sun, and of course sunset takes away those yellows. And in that regards, 2A, I think this is a fairly accessible poem. The seasons passing is in some ways a good teacher. It's that cyclical nature of life for Emily. At 2B, these final 2 lines and how they're read, I'll ask you to consider it. At 3A, well, remember Keats's Ode to Autumn at LearnStrong.net. We've given full lectures on this amazing poem. This poem was written 19th of September 1819 by Keats and published, of course, a year later. You'll remember this: season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run. And again, this maturing sun is, I think, exactly what Emily is channeling. This poem, of course, will be published in 1861, right? Finally, at 3B, how to own a poem like this. Well, what is your favorite season, and what are your thoughts about fall? Do you enjoy it, or are you kind of bummed out by autumn? Thank you.